Hey guys, this is the tutorial you guys asked for. I procrastinated, admittedly, but I finally got it done after all the time of slacking and away from the interwebs and gaming. Um, but here we are. This first segment is just from full guard to heavy. While blocking a heavy, which characters it is safe to use. The board and blade, I believe it's called. You know, the heavy out of the full block. Which characters it's safe to use on. I'll have it labeled in the top left, either heavy away, or just poke, or heavy/poke, to let you know what is safe, when it's safe, yada yada yada. If it says heavy away, it means you're clear to go. If you block a heavy with full block, you can land a heavy no matter what. If it says just poke, you are not going to land a heavy, so just use the goddamn stab. And if it says heavy/poke, that means you can get a heavy if they, attack in a direction that is not from the right side, your right side, their left. So, I hope I said that right, because I feel like I didn't. Anyway, you guys know what I'm saying. But that's it for the explanation of this. And that's what this first phase is. The next one will cover zones, then we'll go into basic attack information, and then we'll go into advanced attack or add a STAM pressure. You know what? I'm gonna quit talking because I don't remember what I did. Point being, you'll see my fat little steroid minion having ass over here explaining what I'm doing in each phase before we go into each phase. Anyhow, that's enough of that. Let's hop into it. Yep. Go ahead.
Cool, hold up. If it's the same direction, you can.
Try the other side. Try a fully charged one.
You don't recover in time. There's ever. Forward.
I guess Black Prior can't.
Stop it!
I guess you can't turn around and do a full guard real quick.
Hit me! Hit me! Do it!
I'm sorry, you said what?
Because of the hidden stance shit they have.
That's not how that works, though.
Little cunt. Okay. Alright guys, so this next phase is going to be whether or not full guard to heavy will connect on zones. Now, I excluded a few heroes for obvious reasons because either their zone, was just a bash, or their zone was unblockable. Now, we can't obviously block that with a full guard, so there's no way a heavy would land afterwards, now would it? The only hero I kept in that has an exception, and you can counter to their zone, is Gladiator. Well, that's my phone. Anyway, no, you cannot block the bash, but what you can do is dodge and do a superior light. I have a good demonstration of it in here, and yes, you can get it from all angles no matter what. But yeah, this is for the zones. Again, I'll put in the top left whether or not you should just heavy, just do a poke, or if both are viable. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next phase.
Now, man. Now, man.
Alright, so a quick little recap over that. I would like to acknowledge that yes, I did put heavy slash poke for a few heroes a couple heroes that you can clearly get a heavy off, such as Jang Jun and Shaolin. Now, why did I do that? Well, Jang Jun they whoever plays him usually, when they do a zone, follows it up with a light. 9 times out of 10, that's exactly what they'll do. So yes, you can land a heavy if, for example, they're out of stamina and throw a zone, or if they choose not to throw the light after. So you can land a heavy, but the heavy is not faster than their follow-up light. So I would still recommend doing the poke. Shaolin, almost the same thing. They can feint their zone, see, and the heavy is not quicker than the feint, unfortunately. So I would still recommend a poke. However, same as JJ, if they follow it through all the way, you can indeed land a heavy. Now, a couple other characters I didn't put in at all, such as Conqueror and Berserker. Conqueror, you can't land the heavy at all, obviously, because he has full guard on his own. However, you can land the poke, because the poke is unblockable. So, do the poke whenever it conquers the zone if you don't parry it. And Berserker, yeah, you can land a heavy off of it, but 9 times out of 10, since, Zerk has hyper armor injections in his life bloodline there, they like to throw the hyper armor light they have afterwards, which, I think you might be able to trade with it, but I highly don't recommend. So just throw the poke. Or better yet, just full guard it all and throw the poke after. You know what? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Just throw the goddamn poke. Other than that, I think that's about it with that. So we're getting ready to go into out of stand punishes. Now, Warlord has many options to get his opponent to the ground when they're out of stand, such as crashing charge, or a regular old guard break. I'm going to go through all the punishes he has with that, and I'll explain the damage and all that fun shit he has with it. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so first I want to start off with the big boy punish. The guard break, the top heavy, to left or right heavy. It's a total of 70 damage. It's the one I prefer to do most. It doesn't take as much stamina as zone to heavy, and it does a bigger punch. Now we have guard break to zone to left or right heavy. It does 60 damage. It's not as good as top to side heavies, but if your opponent's low on health and you got the stam to do it, just do it. That's the only scenario I ever see using this. These next two are the ones you see me do more often. Top light to left or right heavy is 58 damage, and guard break to left or right light, and the left or right heavy does 55 damage. It takes the least amount of stamina to do it, and it still packs a pretty decent punch. Now we have the only guaranteed punish off of a crashing charge that isn't against a wall. It's obviously crashing charge to head splitter combo. Headbutt, as far as I'm aware, is guaranteed every time. It still packs a good amount of punch with 50 damage. Now this one I would recommend using in force since it's quick and still deals a pretty good punch. Crashing charge to left or right light, or left or right heavy, well followed by left or heavy. It does 55 damage and it's pretty quick and does a good amount of damage to your opponent. And the last one you have is crashing charge zone to left or right heavy. I would recommend doing this only in duels and as long as they're close to a wall. It is guaranteed 60 damage. Alright guys, so this next little tidbit of info is basic attack information, and in this segment I'm going to be talking about chip damage and how much the regular attacks do. Regular attacks being light attacks and in their combos, heavy attacks in their combos, the zone damage from chip and regular, and the head splitter from regular and chipped. That's about it. It's basically just regular ass info on fucking damage. Let's get into it. With the damage already displayed, I feel like I should just tell you a little bit about them. I'm pretty sure that all light finishers are 500 milliseconds. And if you delay them, they're very, very useful, and they're still pretty good to open up people. Same thing with the heavies. I can just tell you about them a little bit. The hyper armor comes out at 300 milliseconds at the start of the heavy. Now, if you're throwing lights and stuff and throw a heavy to trick an opponent, you have a pretty good chance of tricking them to throw an attack. A head splitter I wouldn't recommend doing from neutral, but you can definitely bamboozle an opponent from doing so. Still very effective if you get it. Zones are very effective for Warlord. More often than not, if you're in the heat of combat, people aren't prepared to block the zone. So don't be afraid to throw it out there. Alright, last but not least are the advanced attacks. And when I say advanced attacks, I mean Board and Blade, the stab from full guard, the headbutt combo from full guard, and superior lights. Now I know I didn't go over the damage earlier for Board and Blade, which is what we've been doing for like half the video. It's 30 damage. So Board and Blade does 30 damage, guaranteed. And we'll go into the rest of it in this tutorial, so let's get into it. With the damage already displayed, I can tell you that the superior lights are fantastic to use, and you could follow them up with another light and or heavy. Now I prefer to use a heavy because you can feint the heavy and go into a headbutt and get yourself an extra 15 damage, so why not? The block and stab is guaranteed no matter what, does 15 damage, and it can reach any attack. The headbutt combo is probably Warlord's most forgotten move. It's not all that useful, but it does do a good amount of STAM drain damage, so if you're into that, have at it, brothers. Alright, so that was it for this tutorial, guys. We went over everything I can possibly think of. Now I know people wanted me to go over certain characters, but with this already being as long as it is, I figured I'll just try to implement that when I do duels. I'll try to give out good strats on certain characters and certain playstyles when I fight them in duels. Other than that, I apologize. This took me absolutely forever to do. Definitely on me. Largely procrastinated, and I just stayed off the video games for a good minute, hung out with my family. But other than that, as soon as this gets back up there, I will start doing duels. We gotta get that grind back to Grandmaster, since I am now out of Master rank. I'm back to Diamond 5. And I'm going to work on a montage as well. So, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it helps new and old players out, you know, if anyone's interested in Warlord. Anything I missed that you guys point out, feel free to comment down below, because admittedly I am not the best or well-knowledged For Honor player out there. So, you know, if you guys notice anything I missed, comment down below. Ain't nothing wrong with that. With that in mind, I'll see you guys in the next duel video. Peace out, brothers.